Welcome back, everyone, to Merge Conflict. Frank, I forgot to put you on the right screen again. Let me just put your little beautiful face. Look at that little beautiful face right there on the screen. Welcome back, everyone, to Merge Conflict, your weekly developer podcast. I'm not going to let Frank talk because now I can see his big, beautiful brown or blue or green eyes. I am one of your hosts, James Montemagno. With me, as always, the most starry-eyed, beautiful, bright blue, magenta eye man that I know, Frank Kruger. How's it going, buddy?
I do not have blue eyes. We've only known each other for like 10 or 15 years, though. But good guess. Good try. Good try. Hi, James. You have blurry, blocky JPEG compressed eyes or MPEG compressed eyes. It's wonderful to be here. I like compliments. Everyone likes compliments, but I feel like you're buttering me up for something.
No, not at all. I want to give a quick shout out. Shout out to the one and only secondary thrift markets in your neighborhood. I'm talking about the St. Vinny's. I'm talking about the Goodwills. I'm talking about the Humane Society restores. I want to give a shout out to the Oregon Goodwill, where I picked up a Dell 4K monitor. 4K monitor.
James, I wanted to talk about monitors, but I thought there's no way he's going to let me talk about cheap monitors on the podcast. But now you're talking about a Dell monitor. That's cool. I was my Dell monitor just died.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's funny. It was a great monitor. Great little guy. Served me well. I abused it, but it kept running all the way up until it stopped running.
It's pretty good. I have my Wii set up over here in the garage area, and I went to St. Vinny's, and they had a 1080p Dell monitor. I was super excited about it, and it was $20, but it was green stickered, and green stickers were 50% off that day. So it was $10 with the power cord.
Free. You probably spent that in gas getting there.
That's very true. Exactly. So I got pretty excited because obviously for the Wii, I only need, it's like 480p or something like that, right? So I don't need.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah. So I just
have it. It's not even HD? The Wii's not HD?
480p.
That's not HD.
Aggressive.
Buddy.
No, it's not HD. No, it's not. No.
You can put all the P's on the end you want. It's still not HD.
It can do widescreen. They'd recommend letter. I mean, the Nintendo Wii release date.
Just at the transition time, I guess, when 720p was coming out.
2006.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem 20 years, though. My God. Okay. Wow. It's a collector's item. Can't believe you were able to get it working. Did you have to get an RF modulator for it?
No. So I went on. So this monitor, the first Dell one that I got, which was only $10, is a 23-inch or whatever. I'm like, this is perfect. It's going to fit really nice because I'm going to DDR it. And I was like, I just need a cheap monitor. Came with the power cord, perfect. And it just has a VGA and HDMI. So I was like, cool. I know nowadays they have I have the RGB, but I also have the one with the 5 or whatever, so you can get the boosted colors, the green and the yellow and the blue.
Guess you don't need that for the boosted colors though. You want DisplayPort these days so you can run your 8K monitors at 120 hertz.
Well, again, this is a 1080p monitor, and the Wii is only 480p. So I did do an Amazon purchase, which is you can just get the proprietary port. So the port on the Wii is proprietary. It's not like it's proprietary. So they have a proprietary. Nintendo. Yeah, exactly. Nowadays better, but proprietary to HDMI out. So I could just HDMI the puppy out, right? That's awesome. Mm-hmm. So 2 days ago, I set it up. Turn the puppy on, boom, there it is. All my Wii games. I'm so excited about it. And no audio, just like earlier.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And I go, wait a second.
Sure.
So I look up the monitor online, right? No speakers. I go, okay, well, no problem. There's got to be a aux jack out, 3.5 millimeter, our best friend in the world, 3.5 millimeter. No 3.5 millimeter out. None.
Classic.
This is just a monitor.
They took that part from Apple, but not the. Well, I guess it could be worse. It could have been a lightning connector. That's tough. I ran into that because I've been getting back into my RCA video disc collection, And I went through
Mm.
all this trouble to get like good sampling cards because it's actually an analog signal, like VGA. And you
Yeah.
actually need to get a capture card for it. Go through all this work. And then I realized, oh, no audio, Frank. You need to buy the capture card that also has audio jacks on it. You big dummy.
Yep.
Kind of forgot about that part. It's so because like we're so lucky to live in the HDMI era where everything's just done over one cable, which is now making me wonder, gosh, does DisplayPort do audio? Probably not, huh? Write in if you know the answer to that question.
I want to say yes, but it is
You think it
called
does?
it is
I
called
know, right?
display port, not display and audio port. So,
Not media port.
well, so I'm running into this scenario and I go, oh dang, because I bought the one cable. They actually have
Yeah,
a bunch of adapters for the Wii that is just a dongle. And most of those dongles have an HDMI out and a 3.5 millimeter out on them.
gotcha.
So I go, okay, well, maybe I'll return the cable, get the dongle. Well, it's been so long that I can't return the cable. And if I
Ah,
want to get the dongle, it's like, well, I got to get the dongle, but then I also got to get speakers. And then I'm like, okay, what if I just keep the cable? Is there another way to extract said audio? And there's an
I have an
HDMI
idea.
an
Oh,
HDMI audio extractor that you can get.
okay. So what's it doing? It's connecting into the Wii and presenting an HDMI port, like a female
So
HDMI.
it has an in and an out. So it sits in between and it hijacks the audio. So you would plug the HDMI from the Wii into the audio extractor and another HDMI out of the audio extractor into the TV. And then there would
Love
be
it.
audio pipes out that you could do to a speaker. And
I love AV dongles.
I go, this, Frank, is getting too complicated because one, I'd have to go find another HDMI cable. And that's like, I guess you
Yeah,
get it at St. Vinny's. But then this HDMI audio extractor, $25. That is
yeah,
two of the monitors. And I go,
yeah.
this cannot happen. And then I'm like, okay, maybe I'll just get the dongle. The dongle's $5, and then I'll get little speakers. I'll get little, 3.5 millimeter jack speakers. And I guess I'd
Yeah.
have to get the cable. These
I feel
speakers
like
are expensive. They're like 15, $20.
mm, yeah, okay. So your store didn't have those. People are always getting rid of receivers. At least they used to be like 20 years ago. And they used to always be getting rid of junky PC speakers. Remember when you used to buy a PC, you always had to buy speakers with it because that's how we
Yeah.
rolled back in the day? God, no one does that anymore, huh? Because all the laptops have them built in and everything. But I feel like because of that, all those kinds of stores are just full of those things. But maybe yours is a little picked over.
Well, I hadn't gone to the store yet, Frank. So then
Ha.
I said, well, take this, Amazon. I'm going to Goodwill. So
Yeah.
I walked my butt over to the Goodwill and I go, okay, I'm on the hunt for one, either a monitor that has speakers,
Oh,
right? That'd be
okay.
ideal.
Fair enough. Yeah.
They have them usually
It's called a
sometimes.
TV, but yes.
Or a TV, yes, or a TV, or a TV, because they also have little tiny TVs there. That's
Yeah.
also, but it would also need to have a VESA mount, and TVs usually don't have VESA mounts always on the
Oh.
smaller ones.
See, I was going to
Sometimes they
suggest
do.
you get like a cool CRT TV if you're going to go full retro, but it's hard to VESA mount a CRT TV.
Yeah. So I go, okay, like maybe I'll get that, or I at least need to get a monitor that has an audio out, and then I would need speakers as well. So I walk into the store, back wall. I know back wall electronics area. Let's go. No one's back there. Pop, 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 right? All these, I don't know, 10 of them or so. And I lay my eyes on this beauty 27-inch Dell monitor. That's bigger than a 23-inch by 4
That's
inches.
a lot bigger.
Right?
Yeah.
So the first thing I do is I start to go through and I go, okay, let me just look at all the inputs. And none of them have speakers. They're all actually monitors. There were some TVs, but they were bigger. I don't got that size. The VESA mount is only up to 30 inches. So, because it was $10, and it's already installed on the wall. So I go, okay, let me look up this AOC one. I don't know. It's 1080p. All right, let me look up this other one. And then I look and they're all $25. Every single one of them, $25.
Oh,
It doesn't
great.
matter if it's 20 inches, 30 inches, $25.
The price is just like, whatever, it's a monitor.
It's a monitor. A monitor is a monitor. So then I look at this Dell and I'm like, it's a little big. 27 inches. It's got a display port. It's got an HDMI. It's got a multiple USB 3s underneath it. And it has like 3 or 4 other adapters. Like this thing's got ports, bro. It's got ports for days.
Oh, I love it. Proper monitor.
Um, and 3.5 millimeter jack.
Love it.
Mhm. So
Classic.
I'm like, okay, well, let me make sure that this thing like is good. Let me find a spec sheet. Because again, I can't really see much besides the ports. I'm like, maybe it even has speakers. Like,
Mm.
I don't know, right?
Should just brought a
Um,
little Raspberry Pi in your pocket so you can plug it in and see if there's any dead pixels.
that would have been great, right? So I typed this puppy in. This is a 27-inch 4K Ultra HD IPS monitor, 384,
Wow.
3840 by 2160 resolution, 76 hertz refresh rate, random
What?
refresh rate.
Yeah.
Yep. It is it's got
That's a beautiful
1 billion
monitor.
1 billion colors, 78 degrees vertical and horizontal viewing angles. It's got tilt and swivel projection. It's got an LED
My
backlight in it.
God.
Um,
You lucky devil.
and it's just sitting there. Now I don't know if
The
it works. There's
4K
no power
monitor.
cable. It's a
Oh,
4K
you still
monitor.
haven't tested it? You're giving me all these specs. You're killing me.
So Frank Kruger,
Mhm.
$25. I was like, okay, it's got a blue sticker. And I go to Heather, what's the color of the day? And she's like, purple. I was like, so
Ah.
close. But I still need a speaker. So I go over and I look at all this. So they do have all these speakers. They have those
Mhm.
old ones that aren't even 3.5 millimeter jacks. They're the old like 9
Yeah.
prong ones. You know what I mean? Those are
I have
classic.
no that seems like way too many prongs. I thought you were gonna say it's just the 2 speaker wires and you actually need an amplifier to drive them.
They had some of those. They had some of those. They had some of those.
Cool.
So they had this one. It's kind of like a flat one. It looks like a little sound bar on it. And I was like, okay, it's $7 or whatever. I'll buy
Yeah.
this. So for 30
Mhm.
bucks, I get this monitor and I snag it. So I'm walking around the store. I'm all proud of myself. Right?
Don't let
And
that
I
one
got this.
go. That's a good deal. Yeah.
Yep. So we get it. And I'm like, okay, I get it home. And it's got a VESA mount at the back. So I unplug it, boom, boom,
Oh
boom,
man.
plug it in.
Perfect
I get
monitor.
the audio in there, boom, boom, boom. And I like turn it on. It's like, bum, ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. And I was like, whoa, amazing. Audio coming out of the little speaker. And then the speaker, it's got like RGB colors. It's like in disco mode. I'm like,
Oh
that is
my
way too
god.
much. It's perfect. Anyways, shout outs to the St. Vinny's, shout out to the Goodwills. Goodwill, a little pricey, but like still
Oh,
pretty good.
that is a wonderful story. I wanna tell you my monitor story, but I paid a lot more than you, and I'm not sure I got anything I got worse than you.
Oh
So,
no.
I'm a little jelly now, James. Good
Oh,
job.
mhm.
Bravo. Good job to the store for pricing it so reasonably. Bad job to everyone in your neighborhood that didn't catch on to that deal. I wonder how long
I
that
know.
monitor was sitting there.
When I went to the St. Vinny's, they had a bunch of them set up, and what I did like about the St. Vinny's is that they were all tested. So they had a sticker that was like tested, 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 and then it
Mhm.
had the resolution on the front and the sides,
Nice.
so you knew right away what exactly it was. But I didn't look at the ports on that one, so that's totally on my fault there. So that was really cool. And at St. Vinny's, they're different prices, so they were different prices based on the size and the style and features. So I was like, oh, they're doing the research. Whereas Goodwill, it's like $25, slap it on, right? Not even,
Yeah.
I have no idea if it was tested,
Yeah.
but it works. So it's good.
Yeah, I don't have too many on the island. We don't have too many. We have actually 2 or 3 stores that could potentially have electronics, but they get picked over pretty fast because it's an island and people are always looking for the reused stuff. But they never test them. So that's why I was bringing up the Raspberry Pi. Like I actually want to build a tiny little Raspberry Pi that's dedicated to just plugging into a TV, or I guess I could just bring like a Chrome stick or Chrome, whatever it is, and bring one of those and jam it in. But
Yeah.
I need something to test these monitors so I know what to buy and all that kind of stuff. Can I tell you my monitor story?
I'm ready. Yes, because we had done a whole podcast about we were both like, oh, do we get the new Apple
Right.
display? And no one has made any decisions. And I got a
You
used
crushed it. You won.
27-inch 4K monitor, apparently.
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah.
For
So
20 bucks,
did you
25
need
bucks.
another monitor?
I did.
Okay.
So I used to rock iMac plus a second monitor. And honestly, I don't use the second monitor much. But when you're doing development, nowadays you got Solution Explorer, a code window, a second code window next to it so you can reference code, and now you got the stupid chat window.
Hmm.
Horizontal real estate is gone these days. I need my agent. I need everything big. My eyes are getting worse. All my fonts are huge. So
Yep.
I just like the real estate is gone. So I used to pride myself on being able to do like mobile development on a laptop, like little iPhone window off to the left and the code
It's
everywhere
cute.
else. There's just no room anymore. There's no room. And so I finally was getting frustrated with toggling through windows. I'm like, I actually need a second monitor. And the cool thing was, because my eyes have gone bad, I was like, you know what? I don't need to pay $1,600 for the Apple Display Pro, whatever. 5K sounds wonderful. I can't even see pixels on a. I don't even know what this thing is. I think it's a 1440p, 1440 vertical. So I have this nice cheap monitor. It's an Asus, and I'm like, you know what? This monitor is probably like $10 now. I'll go pick up a second one. It's fine.
There you go. Yeah,
It's
you
like a
want a
20-year-old
matching?
monitor. Yeah,
Yeah,
I wish
match
I
it
could have
up.
gone to your store and pick it. Yeah, match it up, right? Well, it turns out you can't match it. They don't make that model anymore. It's the PA27 blah blah blah. Now they only sorry, it was the PB27 blah blah blah. Now they only make the PA27 blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, fine,
Yeah.
whatever. But it's like $250. I'm like, well, that's still significantly cheaper than the Apple display. So
Yeah,
I'm
that's a
I'm
good
in
deal.
for 250. It's fine. It's fine.
That's a half a stick of RAM. That's a half a stick of RAM. That's 1 gig of
Is
RAM.
that, oh my god,
I
RAM is so
believe.
ridiculous now. It's like monitors are the only reasonably priced thing these days. Like I feel like we
I
should all just be buying monitors.
I heard CPUs are like next. Like CPUs are like the
Oh
next
no,
like race
really?
for some reason. Yeah.
They already got expensive a little while ago. I think
Yeah.
you
Anyways.
usually have to spend like 400 or 500 for a decent one these days.
Well, I saw your breakdown in your blog post, and I was like, "Dang,
Yeah.
you're a little 3090 box." I was like, "Dang, that is
Yeah,
accurate."
and
I didn't
that
know if that
was
was what you spent or if that was like current modern day prices.
oh, it's not what I spent, thank goodness. I built that machine years ago. And so things were a lot cheaper. RAM was basically free back then, and CPUs, I think I spent 300 on the CPU.
Oh wow. Yeah. Anyways.
Anyway, monitors. So I made the mistake of going to a chatbot. So I'm like, hey, chatbot, are any of these monitors equivalent? And oh my God, I went down the hardware rabbit hole. I think I was in that chatbot for the next 1 hour talking monitors. And AV talk is the worst kind of talk on the whole planet. Because all of a sudden you start wondering, like, do I need IPS or is VA good enough? What does VA even stand for? Do I need 120 hertz? Maybe 240 hertz? Hmm. What is UHD and is that bigger than QHD? And what is WQHD? It's like you can go down like definitions all day long. And then all of a sudden it'll say something like HDR10 compliant. You're like, oh, what is HDR10? I've heard of HDR, but I've never heard of a 10 before.
Yeah.
And so I went down this funny rabbit hole of I was just going to buy the identical cheap monitor. But through an hour of chatting with an AI, I got upsold to an IPS display because it's better than
Uh,
VA,
yeah.
apparently. And then once it got into my head, I decided I actually do want an HDR monitor. And I have a business excuse, James. Forever, I have wanted to add HDR support to iCircuit
Yeah.
because you can make an LED bright, overpower the LED, and then it's blinding you, and you have to step back, and you're like, "Oh my god, disconnect the LED! It's too bright." It's kind of a dream of mine. I want to get the app to that point, but sRGB is just not going to cut it. I need HDR for that. I need something blinding, but I don't want to spend $1,600. But it turns out for $300, you can actually get some decent HDR screens. So there's basically two technologies for this. Sorry, I'm breaking down a hour-long
Well,
conversation with a
well,
chatbot.
no, because HDR. So when the Switch 2 came out, it was going to be the
Mhm.
first game console. I guess the Xbox had HDR, but
Did
it was
it?
the first time where like the Switch like has 120 hertz as HDR. I was like, oh, like, you know, do I have a monitor or do I have a TV or do I have a thing that supports it or do I need to research? And everyone was talking about it. And because I think the Nintendo Switch 2's calibration screen was like really terrible. So there's like all these videos.
Okay.
So I was kind of interested in that. But then I went
Yeah.
down this rabbit hole of HDR because my monitor actually has
Yeah.
HDR, but it's like garbage HDR, right?
Right.
So you turn it on and you're like, oh, it looks worse than it did before. And now there's many reasons for that. It could be that it's not calibrated correctly. Maybe the console's not calibrated, or it's just garbage HDR.
Right. So what you learn very quickly is a lot of monitors sell themselves as HDR, and all that really means is they accept an HDR signal. What they
There you go.
decide to do with that signal is kind of up to them.
It's kind of
And a
important
lot of them do
also.
nothing with that
Yeah.
signal. They just don't explode. That's the benefit. That's kind of what a HDR10 is. So in this modern world, you want something called HDR 1000. That's where it actually does something brighter, like you bring up a photo of a sunshine, and if you have an iPhone, or I'm sure Android devices do this too, the screen's fine, the screen's nice and bright, but you bring up that photo that was pointed directly at the sun, and all of a sudden the screen really lights up and kind of tries to blind you. They really can't. They can only get like 2x or 3x brighter, but they try. They try. And so I wanted that experience, and you can get that these days. OLED can do it, and mini LED, micro, mini, whatever, small LED can do it. And the mini LED really just means they have a big array of LEDs in the background. It's kind of a hacky way to do it. They just brighten up the LEDs behind the HD surface. But I'm like, I don't want to spend $1,600, so I'm fine with a hack, because all I want is an LED that blinds me. $300, 27-inch monitor with HDR. So I ended up getting this Acer something or another. I should
Oh,
having this conversation, I actually should say. So it's like a budget brand, right? Acer.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's fine. It's fine. I was a little bit worried about it because like the AI would recommend all these monitors that you can't get anymore because
Hmm.
monitors come and go, it seems like, every year. So finding one that's actually on prime, and when you're getting something bigger than a few inches, you want a good return policy, because I'm that lucky fellow that always gets the dead pixels. So I wanted something that had a good return policy. Living on an island, I'm not just going to run off to the store, all that kind of stuff. So I gambled a little bit. What did I end up with,
The
James? Where did
Acer,
I
the Acer QWX W524 4ZWP26
Yeah, something like
1Z2.
that.
No, I want to
Nailed
know.
it.
Type. I'm ready. I'm ready to type it in.
Okay. It is the XV27 5. Sorry, I have to zoom in and enhance because my eyes are terrible. 5UF3. Nailed it. XV27 5UF3.
The 27 at
Whew.
least means maybe. Is it 27 inches? It is.
27-inch screen. Yeah.
This
It's a
is the Acer
QHD.
Nitro? The Nitro?
Nitro, baby. This is a
Oh,
gamer
wow.
monitor.
Oh,
But
my
so
God.
you got to look for a few specs when you're doing this. Like the HDR spec is an important one, and the number of mini LEDs. Like a lot of these only give you a panel that has 384 lighting zones. That's not very many for a 27-inch monitor. So you want to get I think I have 1100 lighting zones. So it's just a little better. So it's less bloom around any object that you're actually trying to light up on the screen. And it has good reviews, and the price is reasonable. And they have a good return policy. So I figured if I did get the dead pixels, I could just kick it back at the driver and get rid of it. And I gotta tell you, I was a little worried. Sorry.
I'm just trying to, like, you can't find these things. You know what I mean? I'm just
Oh
trying to, like,
yeah, check
where did you,
Amazon. It's on
where did
there.
you buy it from? Amazon? Okay.
Amazon. Yeah, I can even fetch you the link if people want to buy it. Buy it. But I gotta tell you, like, I got this monitor and I plugged it in for the first time, and I'm like, ooh, I think everything's a little bit washed out. All my coding windows are kind of gray. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
that's not great, because this monitor is also like has good color calibration. It even comes with a calibration sheet when you buy it, like proving that this is a well calibrated monitor. And then I felt like the biggest dummy on the whole world. I realized my coding windows are gray. I've just had a crappy monitor for the last 10 years. And it was never able to render the grays correctly. If I put a black thing there, the black was death black. You can't see anything through it. So it turns out there's a lot of gray in my apps that I just never realized because my monitor wasn't good enough to render the color correctly,
Oh
which
my
I thought was
gosh.
kind of hilarious. So then the next big test is, can you get HDR to actually work? So
Yeah.
on Mac, you have to go to settings. It's off by default. Thanks, Mac. So you just hit the little toggle, goes into HDR mode, and then the entire screen just nope turns into low contrast,
Yeah.
muted colors,
Hmm.
garbage everywhere. I'm like, well, darn it. You gamble and sometimes you lose. But I decided to try a little bit of something. I went into the monitor's like on-screen menu and they have modes. Gaming mode, no, still not good. Video production mode, not great. And then there's a funny little mode there called HDR. I'm like, so we'll try the
It didn't.
HDR
It didn't. It
mode.
didn't auto switch to it.
No.
Wow, what the heck? That's stupid.
So you manually switch to the HDR. All of a sudden, the colors are back. Everything's back. You bring up some nice HDR photos in the Photos app, and the sun is blinding, and you're covering your eyes, and it's fantastic. So I'm very happy with my $300 27-inch monitor, which has no ports on it, 2 HDMIs, 2 display ports, no USB garbage, none of that. This is a monitor, no speakers, but it's nice because the bezel is small. The screen is ridiculously light. Like, I didn't realize how much they've really improved in technology. So fantastic monitor. I'm in love with it. So much so that I have a second part to the story, but were you able to find it at all?
I did find it. So let's get in the specs here. So it's the Acer Nitro 27-inch WQHD 250/60 by 1440. So it's a 1440p monitor.
Yeah.
Mini LEDs, the IPS monitor. It's got the FreeSync Premium 320 hertz refresh rate. That's gaming. That's gaming fast. That's hot. That's nitro. That's nitro.
Yeah, it's nitro. It's nitro.
That's nitro.
So for the solitaire that I play, it's going to be fantastic.
It's got.
The cards will shuffle like nothing.
I wouldn't say I'm in love with the port selection. Okay.
No. But
we got a display port 1.4. That's nice, and 2 HDMI 2.1 ports. And is that it?
No, there's 2 display ports for whatever reason. Like, I don't understand. So you can technically plug 4 things into it, but I'm a one monitor, one computer person, so I didn't really care about the ports. All I wanted to make sure was that the ports could actually handle HDR. That was the big thing for me. I wanted an actual HDR.
I like, personally, that it's got the height adjustment, pivot adjustment, swivel adjustment, tilt adjustment. That is a nice feature. I know that's in the arm and they can really just put an arm on it, but that is important in general. This one does have a 1001 contrast matte finish screen. Interesting.
Yeah.
1000 nits color gamut. It does say that it is Adobe RGB 99% compliant. That's that Adobe RGB. Ooh, baby.
It's display P3 also, I believe. It's modern. Apple, you want display P3 if you can on your monitors. So I'm so happy with this thing because it's exactly what I wanted. 27-inch, low res. My eyes are still blurry enough. There's probably pixels there, but I can't tell. My eyes can't resolve them. It's fine. But I put it down. So I've said all my piece. I love this monitor, right?
Yep.
Think maybe Acer makes a bigger one. I wonder if there's a bigger sister to the XV275U F3.
Maybe a 35 or a 32 or maybe a 38 in there.
Exactly. So I'm wondering, what else do they make? Well, I can't go extreme. It's a desk, I got to fit this stuff on my desk. And I still want a 2-monitor setup, like no matter what. So I'm like, what else can I get? Turns out Acer makes another Nitro monitor, 32-inch, same number of micro LED thingamabobs, basically similar specs to this monitor.
But you already bought the 27. You already bought the 27.
Done. It's on my desk. I'm using the 27-inch monitor to shop for the 32-inch monitor. That's how much I'm impressed by these Acer products.
Wow, interesting. Wow.
Yeah, so I basically came to the conclusion that this is a beautiful monitor and I love it. And I just don't want to put the garbage old monitor next to it now. So only one solution to that. I need to buy another monitor.
Now, Frank, there is going to be a problem though, which is that you're going to have this 32-inch monitor and then you're going to have this pathetic 27-inch monitor.
Pathetic. Tiny.
It's pathetic.
Irrelevant.
Pathetic. The pixels are so dense in there because they have to be cramped into the 27-inch frame that you have.
Yeah. And the 32 inches higher resolution because it's actually a 4K monitor.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I believe the resolution of the 27 inch is something a little over 100 DPI, and then the 32 inch is going to be 140 something DPI.
Mm,
Yeah, whatever. Look, I don't want to ever claim that I'm a smart person. I'm quite an idiot. I go by vibes, and the vibes were telling me monitors are cheap right now. And look, for $600, I'm basically getting two monitors, and that's
yeah.
still less than half the price of an Apple display. I'm getting a 32 inch monitor and a 27-inch monitor. They're both HDR. They're going to be rockers. I got a little bit worried whether our Mac Minis can actually drive two HDR monitors, but Apple promises me they can
Yes.
if you buy the right dongles. So I bought
Yeah.
a DisplayPort thingamabob for the Mac Mini to plug into the 32 inch when it comes. And I'll probably
Nice.
drive the other one with the HDMI.
Yep.
But anyway, that's my story of ridiculousness. It went from I'm going to buy a cheap second monitor just like my original to AV shopping, which is the worst. Got lucky, got a good monitor, liked it so much, bought another monitor.
I
So
like it.
stupid.
I do want to call out though. So mine is the Dell
Dell.
P2715Q. It's 27 inches
27
because it's 27 inch. It's in the name. So the Digital Trends did a review. I'm going to read this.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I'm going to read this section. It's called Port Palooza. That's the name. That's the
Oh
HQ.
my God.
It says, search around back and you'll find a wide variety of connection options, including DisplayPort and a mini DisplayPort for video in, as well as a DisplayPort out. That means you can daisy chain two monitors together if you want to, like the Apple shows. Mm-hmm. Then you can actually get two of these, and two 4K displays can be daisy chained at once, but it would drop the refresh rate down to 30 hertz. There's an HDMI, speaker line out, and four USB 3.0 ports. They're all part of the package. All the USB ports are on the rear panel. However, it says
impossible
it is
to
in a great place to plug thumb drive in.
Yeah, exactly.
Because other peripherals frequently move. I will say three are underneath, but one's in the back, so you can actually reach around and just it's sticking out the back in general. Mm-hmm. That was actually clutch because then I'm powering the speaker through the monitor, which is kind of nice. So
what was that 30 hertz? I don't think that compares to my 320 hertz refresh rate. The Nitro. Do you have Nitro?
I have the Q, the P2715Q. If with one monitor, 27 or 76 hertz.
Yeah.
On the 4K monitor, 76 hertz for single.
You know what's funny too? Like this Hertz stuff, I think it's a weird arms race. Like I don't think people can actually see. I know people are sensitive to 60, 70 hertz, so I believe people can see higher than that, but I don't believe for a minute people can see higher than 120 hertz. But fine. It's all about refresh rate and ghosting and all that kind of stuff. I get it.
Yeah.
But
I didn't
realize.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to give the app developer thing here of, I was always so proud. I can drive iCircuit's display at 60 hertz and it comes out great. It's V-synced. There's no V-sync on LCD displays, but whatever. They still call it a V-sync because it's syncing something. It wasn't until I had a 320 hertz monitor that I realized iCircuit is not capable of running at 320 hertz refresh rate. Oh, wow. I'm getting like 180, 190 frames per second, but it's like you actually see it struggling. Like it's really oscillating. It'll get up to 180, then it'll fall down to 120, and then it'll try to get up to 190, and then it'll fall back down again. Something gets swapped in or swapped out. So I was always so proud of like, oh, I'm really nailing the refresh rate, like perfect 60 hertz. And now I'm realizing, oh, I was playing in the small race. Now I'm in the big race. Can I actually find any software out there that'll actually drive this puppy at 300 hertz? The answer is no, and it's ridiculous, and no one should. But as a performance weirdo, I can't help but to stare at my FPS and be like, I wonder if I could get it a little higher.
Well, the interesting part now, because I watch a lot of Digital Foundry, is especially with the Switch 2, because it's the first like Nintendo console does a support to support 120 hertz or and 200 120 frames per second, right? Most
Mhm.
games are 60 frames per second. That's the
Yeah.
goal. But nowadays, games have different modes because they have to support so many different types of monitors,
Yeah.
4K, 1080p. They're doing AI stuff. They're doing all this other stuff, resolution bumping, and they also are trying to push the systems to the max. So they often have a quality mode or performance mode. And a performance mode usually drops the resolution, usually
Yeah.
maybe from 4K to 1080p, but it will say, we'll either give you a buttery smooth 60 hertz or 60 frames per second, or they'll give you 120 frames per second in the performance mode, right?
Oh,
Where
okay.
a quality mode may drop it down to 30 frames per second, but give you
Mhm.
the 4K, for example. Or if it's a game that maybe can support 4K and 60 FPS, it'll do that. So that is really interesting. So Metroid Prime 4, for example, is a good candidate of that, which supports HDR, but also supports the 120 frames per second or 120 hertz. But what we're also seeing, which is fascinating about your hertz, is that this monitor, which is 76 hertz, that is a garbage refresh rate hertz because
I'm
who's
sure I
coding
can't
for
tell.
76 hertz? So 80 would have been better. And here's why 80 would have been better,
Mm.
because some game modes now support, instead of doing a 30 frames per second mode, a 40 frames per second mode locked. And why is that
Uh-huh.
important? Is because more monitors and more TVs are 120 hertz, which means a 40 divides
Sure.
equally, right? So 40
Mhm.
doesn't divide into 76 very equally. You can't split those frames up, right? But that is why 60 works so good for 120 or 30 for 60, because you're getting these clean divisible lines. So we're actually now seeing that some games will support a 30 FPS mode, a 40 FPS mode, and a 60 FPS
Fascinating.
mode. And
Yeah.
you can go through it, which is crazy. And there's locking, right? But then others are just unlocked. They're like, just YOLO it, right? Just like go to town,
Oh,
which is
yeah.
good and bad. So
Yeah, I've gone down the rabbit hole of game engines. It's always a little bit of a hobby of mine, and correct me if I'm wrong, anyone listening to this. Seems like almost all games kind of cheat. Most of the 4K games are still doing a render at 1080, and then they're using an advanced upsampler or even an AI upsampler to get themselves to 4K. Because we just can't do 4K at 60 hertz right now. Like our
no,
machines just aren't quite powerful enough. I'm sure some people out there have machines that are powerful enough, but I think the current generation of consoles, even I think most of the real rendering, like all the buffers, are still at 1080p, and then it's an upsample from there, getting them up to 4K when they want to get up to 4K. Correct me if
yeah,
I'm wrong. I could be, a year or two behind, but it seems like that's kind of the sweet spot in
yep.
2026 still.
So upscaling is like definitely every single game. PS5,
Hmm.
Xbox, Switch 2. So normally there's going to be FSR, which is AMD's FSR. That's very popular because there's a lot of AMD based, like the Xbox AMD base. I think it's AMD based. I'm pretty sure. PlayStation has PSR. I think
Sure.
PlayStation SR or whatever.
Some super resolution. Yeah.
The Nintendo Switch has NVIDIA's DLSS,
Right.
which is an AI upscaler. Now, what this normally means is there's tons of tweaks and features and things that these developers are doing for all these things, but we see in these modes, yeah, many games that are even maybe running 1080p will be rendered and the resolutions will be native at 540p and it upscales too. But we see a lot of
Yeah.
like 360p or 320p.
Mhm.
And because these scalers have gotten so good that you're able to then relay that information back without any lag anymore, basically to upscale or even get any motion blur. So that was the biggest thing, is like motion blur and these upscalers. So that saves you on the resolution size. It gives you a better frame rate. And then you can, of
Mhm.
course, support these bigger things. Now, what we also see though, because I've been watching a lot of Digital Foundry, is often they will, it's really fascinating. They could be DLSSing or FSRing certain portions of the screen, but they might have a HUD that is then actually the native HUD. So like a HUD
Right.
overlay, because it's
Funny.
always
Yeah.
static. They don't want normally with upscaling, you'll see the aliasing, right? So
Mm.
it's gotten a lot better at anti-aliasing there, but it can do that. So yeah, the AI upscaling on the
Oh, that
DLSS
makes
is
sense. Render the
crazy.
2D stuff at real resolution. That makes perfect sense
Exactly.
because yeah, you're not running a pixel shader on 8,000 surfaces at 4K or
Exactly.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then
Yeah,
they
it's
can
a
be
fun world.
selective. Yeah, they can be selective about and all this other stuff. So it's it's really really
Mhm.
fascinating. So yeah, it's a cool world.
Well, I just bought 2 gamer monitors. I don't think I'll be even paying attention to them above any of those hertz, but it's fun to have gamer monitors. I hope, games are actually embracing HDR. I'm a little bit out of the game world, but for me, it was all about the HDR, like, my development excuse is it's for the HDR. That's why
Yeah.
I could put it on the business account, so I can actually, add some nice HDR features to my apps, which I could always do because I had iOS and iPad have been HDR forever, uh, but
Yeah.
my Mac version never supported it until now.
Yeah.
Until
No,
now,
it
I'll
does.
get it working.
There you go. No, I think it does. I think if you were to just go and say, given the list at the top, blah blah blah, that's like best for HDR because it's also the implementation of the HDR by the engine, all
Yeah.
this stuff. I remember watching someone. I remember like I believe the Metroid HDR they say is like really really good, and but then they say like the Kirby Air Riders is like really really bad. So it's
Uh,
just like depends on the implementation. Obviously, it just depends on the monitor. I think
yeah.
HDR is a very tricky one because often like when I'm switching through modes, I almost have everything set to movie all the time, which is pretty dim. But I
Mhm.
like it because it gives you more true colors. Whereas most TVs out of the box are blaring you in the face and trying to blind you, and like really they want those super duper brights because it's impressive walking through a Best Buy. But the HDR, it's a mode, so it seems like I just turn on this mode, it should be amazing. But there's calibration, there's
Mm.
the device calibration, and a lot more. And so it seems a lot more complicated. So I hope that they figure that out in the future
Yeah.
because I
It's
still have.
complicated on that side. It's complicated on the programming side still too. Like,
Mm,
I've been doing web GPU, and Chrome supports everything really nice. You can put the canvas into the extended tone mapping. Tone mapping. It really shouldn't be tone mapping because it's supposed to be HDR, but you put
mm,
tone mapping to extended, and it should be rendering out bright things as bright. Safari does sometimes or not at all, or the feature is coming. It's very unclear. But like this is Apple. They've supported HDR forever. And it's weird that like Safari is still behind. And then from a developer's perspective, like when HDR first came out, the only things that supported it were like movie playback and the built-in photo
mm,
viewers. You couldn't drive an HDR view, like create a UI view and turn that into HDR for years. They fixed that, I think, in 2021 or something around there, and you actually can. But again, it's limited to some technologies. Like it has to be a metal display view. So there's a few other ones, but basically you need to program at the raw metal level
mm.
if you want HDR. And
Wow.
configuring it and actually getting it into HDR mode is kind of a pain in the butt. I'm very lucky that I've spent the last year working on a metal renderer for iCircuit, so I can just plug that puppy in. But
Yeah.
it was not pretty. I had to do a bunch of experiments to figure out how to actually get those bright pixels bright.
Yeah, I bet. Wow, that's crazy. Well, that is our monitor journey. If you have comments or complaints, head over to our youtube.com/ at merge conflict FM. That's where you can see our faces every
Mhm.
single week. Let me look at what we're at right now, folks. We are on the road to 1,000 over
Ooh.
there, and we currently have 892 subscribers.
Oh my
We
god,
are
so
getting close.
close.
Yeah, getting close.
Tell
And
your friends.
well, we got to do a listener bag one. We do have some good comments that I think I've commented a little bit on. But yeah, like and subscribe, watch all the videos. Let's see how close we are to monetization on it. Well, we're getting there. We are over 2/3 of the way there on public watch hours. So we got tons of subscribers. We got the videos. We just need the watch hours. So if you want
Mhm.
to listen to this twice and you listen to the audio feed, check it out on YouTube or maybe check it over there as well and go back and forth every other week and give us those view hours. I mean, people are watching. The average view duration of the last one was 20 minutes. That's pretty good. I mean,
Fantastic.
People are watching. So it's
When I
there. But
started
anyways,
talking, they all dropped out. Yeah.
no, or vice versa. We don't know. Yeah, check it out. Like, subscribe, share with your friends if you enjoy this podcast. Write a comment over there. We'd appreciate it. That's going to do it for this week's Emerge Conflict. So until next time, I'm James Montemagno.
And I'm Frank Kruger. Thanks for watching and listening.
Peace.